Hi everyone, and welcome to And So On Knitting Edition. My name is Lisa, and today I've got quite a few finished objects to show you and a lot of new acquisitions. Okay, welcome to 2020. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch my previous video that had all my sewing in it, but I did intend to chat with you guys before the end of December. And first of all, this room was being occupied by guests, but also I had been waiting for this yarn to arrive that I had ordered, and I wanted to show it to you. And every day I kept thinking, I ordered it on Black Friday, and it took 3 weeks to arrive. And so every day I kept thinking, oh, it'll arrive, and then it didn't. And so anyway, now everything's arrived. So I've got a mega haul that it was an accidental mega haul, but anyway, I'll be able to show it to you. So I have a few finished objects to start off with. So first, let's look what I'm wearing. This is the Grace Pullover by Denise Bayron, and I love this pattern. So Denise was gracious enough to send this to me. She's a super sweet friend of mine, and it's so funny because if you might remember, this is the yarn I got from Stranded Dyeworks during her birthday sale, and I didn't want to go overboard and buy too much, and so what I did was I bought 2 skeins of her DK in Grubby pink, and then I bought 1 skein of matching mohair to go with it. And 2 skeins of DK yarn generally is not going to get you a sweater, but then Denise sent me this pattern, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can make this work. So this is a bulky pattern. I'm going to stand up really quickly because I keep wanting to show you. So it's supposed to be cropped. I lengthened it a little bit. I probably lengthened it about 2 inches or so that it hits me right at my my jeans waist level. So it's probably about 2 inches, 1.5 inches below my belly button. And that's kind of about as cropped as I like things, at least until I get myself a nice pair of high-waisted pants. I don't really want to be going any more cropped than that. So when she sent me the Grace Pullover, and I was reading it, it was literally as I was trying to figure out what to cast on, what am I going to be able to get out of these 2 skeins. I really wanted a sweater. And I was like, oh, I think I can make this work. So I did a swatch-ish, and because that pattern is for bulky, I knew I was going to have to adjust because this is DK. So it was DK with the mohair, so I could kind of call it worsted. And what I did was I went up 2 sizes in my sizing, and I went down 2 sizes in my needles. Now, I likely would have had to go down a needle size anyway because I generally do. So, you know, you could look at it as 1 or 2 needle sizes depending on how you measure that. So I went up 2 pattern sizes and down 2 needle sizes. And then I just kind of was holding it up to myself and kind of figuring it out. I mean, it goes very quickly. I think I might have made a bit of a mistake here because this is a shorter cable than the rest. I'm going to call it a feature. And you can just see that it follows this really nice raglan. Because it has the mohair, it's super soft. I'm actually wearing it right against my skin right now. It's not bothering me. I don't know that I'd wear it like this all day, but right now it's totally fine. And I've worn it a bunch with just a t-shirt. I would say the only thing that gets me a little bit is just this very top of this, of the cast on edge, that it tends to turn in a little bit against my skin. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I might just get used to it. I actually haven't blocked this yet because it doesn't really need it. It's sitting fine. Maybe once I wash it, it'll soften up even more. So this pattern also was supposed to have full sleeves. I'll put in a picture of the original pattern if I haven't already. I knew I was not going to be able to get full length sleeves. But I also knew that I tend to be the coldest in my upper arms. So if I could get it to elbow length, then it would be, you know, good enough. And there's this beautiful line. You can see the raglan line that happens on both sides for reducing down. And this line isn't perfect with this line. So you get this, it's, you know, I think in other yarns, it might have more of a feature. But yeah, super, super comfortable. And then as I was knitting it, I knew that I wanted to have more length. What I probably should have done was added more length in the body, and instead I ended up with more ribbing and an extra, you know, an extra whole cable. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I like it. I actually like a little bit of extra ribbing. I feel like it kind of adds a little more you know, brings it in just a little bit. And yeah, I've worn this a ton. I can wear it over a long sleeve t-shirt. I can wear it with just a short sleeve t-shirt underneath. And it's perfect for Spain. So yay, Denise, thank you so much for sending that to me. I really appreciate it. Next, I have this. This is the Ambient Pullover by Aerie, and you guys might remember this one. I've been knitting this for a while, and I finally got it done, and I'm so pleased with it. So if you'll remember, this also had some mohair running through it, and truth be told, I actually used part of this mohair in this sweater because the yardage was a little bit different between the mohair and the DK, and so you can see here, I snuck a couple of rounds of the sangria in just so that I would be able to stretch it, and in the end I got them both done. So I love this stitch pattern. I just love it. The slip stitch pattern in the yoke is so beautiful. I think I've shown it to you there before. The only thing that went weird, and let's see if I can find it. The only thing that went weird, oh yes, this is where the repeat started. You see that line? I did something wrong. I'm thinking now maybe my stitch count might have been off by 1, and maybe it was even instead of odd or odd instead of even. I did fix it by just going in and stitching in a few slip stitches across, and that's how I know where the back is because I just put that at the back. I don't think it's super noticeable. And then at the cuffs, you have that same pattern, but you have it without the mohair. And then there's another line of mohair here at the bottom. This was actually supposed to be repeated twice more, but I was just done. I was like, no, I'm done. I want to get this cast off, forget it. And so I didn't bother with the extra lines of that. And then I just did the ribbing at the bottom. And the end of this is it's called a yarnless bind off. A yarnless bind off, I think is what it's called. Same on the edges of these. So you're not using any yarn at all in the bind off. You're just literally binding you're just binding off one stitch, and then you move it over and then bind the next one off and move it over and bind the next one. You're just using the previous stitch to bind off each stitch. And it does give you a really nice edge that is perfectly, it's like a little bit stretchy, but not too stretchy. And on the same thing here on the bottom, you can see that you've got that bind off edge, and it's stretchy, but not overly stretchy, and it doesn't flare. Oops, I've got something there we go. Well, it wouldn't be a finished sweater if it didn't have at least one end to weave in, right? This is made with Malabrigo sock yarn, and it is unbelievably soft. Like this I can absolutely wear against my skin, no problem. The Sangria Nurturing Fibres mohair maybe slightly a little bit more picky when it comes down to it, but it's great. So anyway, I'll put in some pictures of me wearing it. I have worn it quite a bit, maybe not so much since I finished this, like you know how you kind of wear your favorites for a little bit afterwards, but overall I absolutely love knitting this. And actually I'll tell you later that I have another Aerie sweater that I think I'm going to cast on pretty soon. Okay, my last finished object is kind of a half finished object. It is socks. So if you guys know Max the Knitter, he put out a call for his new socks. They're called the You Better Work socks. And I was like, oh, that'd be fun. And I've kind of volunteered to test knit a few times and it's never happened. And then I, just put on Instagram, oh yeah, I could test 56 stitches or whatever it was. And he messaged me and he's like, oh, would you like to test them? I'm like, yay, so excited. Now, the only funny thing is, clearly, I'll put a picture of what they're supposed to look like or what they're designed to look like. So they're designed to look like work socks, right? Classic gray with a little bit of red and white. And this is when I ordered the yarn. So it was Black Friday. It was pre-Black Friday. So this is end of November. And both of those packages, guys, arrived Christmas Eve. One Christmas Eve and one like the 27th. I couldn't believe how long it took to order. So in the meantime, I wanted to start it, figuring that the yarn would arrive and I'd be able to make another set, but no, it didn't happen. So this is the leftovers of this at the toe and at the cuff. And the middle is the Mondim, the Retrosaria Pomar Mondim that I got at Barcelona Knits. And then there's a teeny bit of La Bien-Aimée in there. It's just like a portion of my ball of La Bien-Aimée that is relatively one color. So that's that there. So you obviously knit this mostly inside out so that you can do the do all the knits, but then you flip it this way and you end up with the reverse stockinette look. So I'll put in a couple pictures of what they look like on. Very comfortable. I am at the heel of my second one. So it's a top-down sock. I'm at the heel. Totally recommend this pattern. Very well written and super cute. There's actually a cocktail recipe at the end for you to have as you're casting on the second sock. It's very, very cute. And yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this and kind of learning from that. Now, the only thing is, and I guess you guys might remember that someone like ages ago was like, don't you ever do like a regular heel? You always do the afterthought heel. This has the, typical flap heel. No me gusta. It's not this one. It's just, I don't like doing the whole flap heel. I think I'm just so used to my other kind. I might download and buy the Fish Lips Kiss heel or the Fleagle heel or something, but I just don't enjoy doing this heel. I had to rip it out and do it twice. And it's just because for whatever reason, it just does not work in my brain and I don't enjoy. So I'll finish the other one like this, obviously, and then I'm gonna go back to using either my afterthought heel or some other heel. So other than that one sock, I have one work in progress, and that was my Christmas Day cast on, and it is the Trescao jumper by Avec Anna, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry that came out just before Christmas, and it's a very simple raglan in a DK, and I am using, there's not very much left. This is my current knit crate. So this was December knit crate, and this is the color Firewood. It's kind of in some lights it looks brown and in some lights it looks purple. And this is a mixture of merino, alpaca, and cotton. It's really, really soft and squishy. And the only thing is I ordered an extra box so that I could do a sweater, and that because of Christmas and everything, that extra box is stuck somewhere in the ether. I don't know where. Really irritating because this is how much I have left, so I can't keep going. But here is the sweater. Actually, I think it goes this way, yeah. So again, quite a simple raglan sweater. I realized after the fact that I missed one purl row at the top. The way it was written was like row one and 3 purl, row 2 knit. And I hadn't seen things written that way before, and so I just did 2 rows and then moved on. So there should have been one more row of purls, which to me doesn't seem like it should make that big a difference in terms of the rolling. So once it's done and blocked, either I'll leave it as a roll neck, which if it looks fine, I'm fine with that, or I'll pick up the stitches around and do a couple more rows at the top. We'll see. So there are short rows at the back, and there are short rows at the bottom because it has a high-low hem. So I've just completed the short rows at the bottom, and I'm just about to change my needles to do the garter rows at the end. I think there's 6 garter rows at the end, which obviously I'm not going to get through, so I hope that my other yarn comes soon. I do have more of this in green, but obviously I'd kind of like to stick to the one color. But I'm really looking forward to wearing it because it's very soft and squishy, and I think it's one of those kind of daily sweaters that you can just throw on and not have to think about it. Okay, acquisitions. So like I said, I did 2 orders of yarn on Black Friday, or in and around Black Friday. So the first one I did was Holst Garn, and Holst Garn is a Norwegian yarn company. I believe I had seen them on, I want to say Espace Tricot, but maybe something else. And I like the idea of trying out European yarns while I'm here in Europe because it's much less expensive to do so here. And while I'm in Spain, I'm not paying duty and shipping or as much shipping, etc. So I saw that Holst Garn was having a Black Friday sale. It was 20% off, and their yarn is already quite reasonably priced. So all of these yarns were between €3 and €5 a ball, so very reasonable after the 20% discount. So on the weekend that was happening, it was going through to the Monday, I kept going on. I would like go on Ravelry and I would look on at everything made with all of their different bases and sort of see what I was thinking of. They're all either light fingering or lace weight. And so I would put different combinations in my cart and I wasn't sure. And then of course, one colorway was sold out by the time that I got there. So in the end, I went with what I think should be 2 sweater quantities, give or take. And I don't even know yet exactly what I'm doing, but let me give you a couple of ideas. Okay, so first off, we have this pretty color. It's called Sweet Pea, and this is in their 100% super soft wool. It's still pretty woolly, but maybe it softens up. I don't know, but I did get this to go with it. This is their Titicaca base. And so this one here is 100% wool and it's 50 grams, 287 meters. And this one here, oh, it's so soft. Look at the halo on that. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So this is 50 grams, 400 meters. So, and this was the color. So I actually looked at this first, and then this is the color that was recommended to go with it. So I have 2 of these and I have 4. Yeah, I have 2 of these and I have 4 of these. Let me show you the other ones and then I'll tell you a couple things I'm thinking of making. I also got this as a one-off. Lily wants a hat, so I'm hoping to do a hat for Lily out of this. And then this color here is called, this is Nutmeg, Holst Garn, and this is their Noble base. So their Noble base is 95% Geelong wool and 5% cashmere. So it's very soft, much softer. Similar yardage, 333 meters, actually a bit more, 333 meters. This is 287 meters. So it is a bit more. And to go with that, I got this. Same thing, the Titicaca. And this one doesn't have the color written on it, so I'm not sure. I think it's a nutmeg is what's coming to mind. But so I have those 2 together. And again, I have 4 of these and 2 of this. I may need to get another, but isn't that pretty? Yeah, so pretty. So in the end, I've kind of got this color thing going. So I could do 1 of each. I could try and put them together. So here are some ideas. Okay, I'm looking at my Ravelry as I'm talking to you, but I'll put pictures here. So I'm thinking of the Ollivanders Turtleneck, which is by Fabel Knitwear. If you haven't watched her podcast, it's lovely. She's very, very sweet. And I really love watching her podcast, so I'll try and remember to link that below. But this is one of her latest designs, and it's a turtleneck. So I love the look of it. I love the long cuff, the little bit of gathered sleeves, but not crazy. I like the length. I like that there are little stitch details. I think she calls that something like, I think it has to do with Harry Potter, like a wand mark or something like that. And I thought like I could do it in this and then have the wand marks in this, which would be really pretty, right? My only thing is, am I gonna end up regretting having a turtleneck in wool? But this does have the cashmere in it. I think it would be fine. And the alpaca as soft as can be. I think it'd probably be fine. Do you think? I think it would be. And then Ari, who did the Ambient Pullover, had a sale for her birthday, I think it was, or something like that, a couple weeks ago. And so I bought her holiday, Mohair. I bought her holiday V-neck sweater. Very simple, very clean, but also I think very wearable. And that would be probably in this. It just sort of just like the picture. I just thought it looked simple and pretty and, you know, very, very practical, something I could wear all the time. Okay, another possibility is the Footprints in the Snow pullover by Heidi Kirmeier. And this looks like it's a very similar, like it's made for fingering held with lace. So I feel like it would be about the right weight. And I like the slightly high neckline. Again, very basic, very plain, but very, very wearable. And then there's the possibility that I could try my first true colorwork sweater. and do the Brightfeather by Jennifer Steingas. Now, I did buy this when it first came out and it was discounted, and I love the feather detail. I think, again, these two together, it would be very beautiful. I was trying to decide, would you, if you were doing the Brightfeather, so there's the Brightfeather, would you do it in the brown with pink feathers or in the pink with brown feathers? I was trying to decide. I was even looking at pictures on Ravelry, trying to figure out which one, but I can't decide. I think brown with pink feathers. I don't know. What do you think? And then the last thing that came with that order was, blowing out. This is their Highland sock wool. So this is 80% superwash Highland ould and 20% nylon. It is 210 meters, 50 grams. Very soft socks for sure. But the reason why I got this, well, actually, the reason why I got this was to use for those socks that I eventually did in something else. I was going to use it with this, and this was going to be for here, but didn't show up in time. But I thought maybe I could do a colorwork sweater and this would stretch it out. I was even thinking, the Humulus by Isabel Kramer. I'd have to double check the yardage on that, but I wonder if I could squeeze a Humulus out of this, and that would kind of, I think the white against these bright colors would really pop. Anyway, if you have any other ideas, let me know. So then when that was taking so long to arrive, and again, I wanted to do this test knit, I did an order at hobby.es, and I ordered some of their sock yarn in the traditional colors for a work sock. They were very reasonable, I don't know, $2.50 a ball maybe, and these are designed in Scandinavia, made in Asia, and they are 50 grams, 210 meters. So I'm still gonna do a pair of socks probably with them, and they're very nice, but they didn't show up in time to help me, so it was a little bit of a waste. But I did then pick up two of these sock yarns that they have, and they're called the Dolce, excuse me, note to self, don't wear mohair when filming podcast. Okay, I lied, I have one more little work in progress. I started some socks for Audrey. Okay, so this is this Dolce. It is made in Italy, designed in Scandinavia, 420 meters. These were on sale. I don't remember how much, but not expensive, maybe €5 or something like that. And they knit up with this little dot, which I thought was very cute. So I've started a pretty simple sock for Audrey. I've already discovered they're too big, so I'm probably gonna rip them back, but I just wanted to knit something. Anyway, I just thought those were cute. I also got some Addy Turbos because I was tired of working with the too short 2.0 knit picks that I bought that I just bent to make them work better. I was like, life is too short. Buy the €5 Addies and be comfortable when you're knitting socks. Okay, and lastly, my knit crate. So you saw this one. That is one of the colorways for December. It's already passed, so you might be able to get it in the shop now, but the January one is different. Actually, the January one is very cool. That'll be coming soon. It's two different yarns. So it's one solid or one semi-solid, I think they call it, or tonal, and then one that has contrast. So I'm looking forward to that. But this is the other color that they sent me in the green, and they call this mistletoe. And again, it's DK, 100 grams, 250 meters. And again, it's so soft. I think I might do something for Lily because this really goes well with their school t-shirt. And I thought maybe she'd like a little cowl, not cowl, like a little bolero or a little open cardigan that she can wear to school. Okay, that's it. That's all. Thanks so much for popping by. I will certainly be back soon. I've got lots more knitting on the go. Please do let me know below what you think I should make with those beautiful yarns that I got. I really am, even though it took forever to receive, I'm really happy with those beautiful Holst Garn yarns, and I want to do something lovely with them. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. I would love to see you back, and please do leave it a like. I would really appreciate it. It does make sure that more people get to see my videos and have me come up in their feed, and it really is a big help. So thanks so much, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.